Welcome back, Focus Learners, to today's Explainer. We're diving headfirst into a seriously moving piece of writing today. It's a text that tackles, well, probably the most pressing issue of our time, extreme wealth disparity. The piece is called Musings Ode to Social Justice, and honestly, it uses this incredible, rhythmic, almost poetic structure to hold a massive mirror up to society. Our goal today? We're going to break this powerful piece down, analyze the sheer contrast it highlights, and really grasp the core message she's trying to get across.
Let's just plunge right into the stark reality of inequality in Nigeria. I want to ask you the exact hard-hitting opening question the author poses right out of the gate. The rich may relocate to Canada or elsewhere. Where can the poor go to? Right away, you notice she isn't easing us in, is she? She's demanding we confront this massive disparity in options. When things get tough, wealth literally buys an escape route. But what about the vast majority who can't just pack up and leave? Where do they go? It's a super compelling hook that frames everything we're about to unpack.
Section 1. The author and her mission. Let's meet the mind behind these words. This is Oluyami Oladavid. She proudly states her mission right off the bat. She's a Nigerian who deeply loves people. But here's the thing. She doesn't just stop at observing the world. She's fiercely driven to bring about global development and actual transformation. And a huge driver for her is her faith. She acknowledges that God owns and rules the universe, calling him the wheel within her wheels. It's this unique perspective she uses to generate solutions, provide clarity, and honestly, influence major policy and strategy. So you see, her poem isn't just some sad lament. It's the work of a real policy influencer laying out a heavy structural critique of society.
Section 2. A Tale of Two Realities, Mobility and Shelter.
Think about the brisk reality of the rich. They can effortlessly bypass our daily struggles. They literally fly over daily traffic in helicopters. They completely avoid the friction of everyday life. But then on the flip side, she asks, how can the poor fly over? The impoverished are completely grounded, stuck in gridlock, facing the friction of failing infrastructure head-on every single day. She's painting this vivid picture of how wealth literally, physically elevates a select few way above the systemic problems the rest of us are forced to navigate.
And this massive disparity doesn't stop at movement, it bleeds right into the concept of shelter. She compares the luxury of buying up premium real estate, building mansions in choice locations, with the absolute, exhausting, fundamental human struggle just to find basic shelter. Where can the poor lay their weary heads? It's such a brilliant, heartbreaking juxtaposition. For one group, housing is all about choice, location, luxury. But for the other, it's a desperate, daily search for just a little bit of rest.
This brings us to an absolutely crucial element of her work. Wedged right between these stark comparisons, she drops in this powerful, repeating refrain, "Let us fix Nigeria for the poor." It acts like a rhythmic drumbeat, driving the whole piece forward. And guys, it's not just some clever poetic device. It's an urgent call to action. She doesn't just want us to look at the gap and feel bad. She wants real systemic repair.
Moving on to Section 3. Justice, Health, and Education.
Let's look at the legal system. We usually picture the scales of justice being balanced. But she asks a vital, unsettling question here. Who will defend the just cause of the poor? While the wealthy can easily just toss money at a highly competent lawyer to fight their battles, the poor are often left completely undefended. In this framing, justice basically becomes a commodity. It's only available to the highest bidder, not a universal standard applied equally to everyone. Kind of a tough pill to swallow, right?
And wow, this disparity bleeds directly into pure survival. The wealthy can simply bypass local, broken healthcare systems entirely and seek medical care in London or elsewhere. It's essentially medical tourism acting as a safety net. But then, boom, she pivots back to grounded reality. Who will treat the poor? When the rich and powerful don't even have to rely on local hospitals, the urgency to actually fix those hospitals just vanishes. And that leaves the impoverished completely without access to basic life-saving care right at home.
So how does this whole cycle sustain itself? Well, that brings us straight to education. The rich might enroll their kids at Oxford or other elite international schools. Meanwhile, she asks, in which school will poor children be enrolled? This part is truly devastating, because she is identifying the exact mechanism that keeps the cycle of poverty spinning across generations. If poor kids can't get a quality education, they literally cannot bridge that gap. It's mathematically impossible.
And there it is again. We hear her rhythmic refrain, "Let us fix Nigeria for the poor." Let's just let the weight of these gaping societal inequalities settle in for a second. We've looked at mobility, shelter, justice, health, education. The drumbeat just keeps going, right?
It's urging us not to look away from the sheer massive scale of the repair that's needed.
Section 4. Voice, Belonging, and Power.
Okay, here she tackles the privatization of safety completely head-on. The wealthy, she notes, can easily keep a retinue of bodyguards. They literally buy a perimeter of safety around themselves. But what about everyone else? Who will keep watch over the poor? She so sharply points out the extreme vulnerability of people who simply cannot afford their own private security detail. When public safety fails, it is overwhelmingly the poor who suffer the real-world consequences.
Then, when addressing the disparity of influence, she points out that the privileged have the resources to read, write, and speak truth wherever possible. They have a massive platform, but she counters this right away by asking, who is listening to what the poor has to say? You see, wealth naturally buys a megaphone, while poverty systematically silences people. And let's be real, having a voice doesn't mean much if the structures of power are completely deaf to you.
And this alienation, it goes way beyond just politics. It's deeply social. She observes that the wealthy have their very exclusive cliques, clubs, chattels. They built these highly insulated networks. But then she asks, who will give the poor a sense of belonging? These super exclusive networks do nothing but further isolate the wealthy from the marginalized majority, completely severing the bonds of community that actually hold a healthy society together.
And for the final time in this whole litany of contrasts, she delivers her central mantra, let us fix Nigeria for the poor. She has methodically, step by step, agitated us as readers, showing us exactly how broken the system is at quite literally every level of human existence. Now, having done that, she's preparing to move us into the broad, systemic resolution she's advocating for.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, Fixing Nigeria for Everyone.
Now, this seemingly simple poem, it actually tackles a massive, highly sophisticated array of critical macroeconomic themes. She hits on poverty, inequalities, energy security. Asking who assures the poor of clean energy when the rich have their silent generators running. She touches on food security, healthcare, mental health, infrastructure, development, inclusion, and peace. The big takeaway here for you is that her poem is essentially a beautifully crafted policy brief detailing vital national development goals.
She brings it all together by acknowledging the undeniable power dynamics exactly as they exist right now. The minority may wield economic, political, and social power. No sugarcoating, it's a plain, unvarnished statement of fact. A very, very small group holds all the levers of society.
But then, and this is my favorite part, she flips the script entirely and directs her ultimate philosophical question directly at us. What willpower must the majority wield? See what she did there? She shifts the focus entirely away from just passively observing inequality straight to the absolute necessity of collective action. If the minority holds the capital, the majority must hold the willpower. It's a brilliant call for the marginalized to wake up and recognize their immense collective strength.
And this all leads right to her final, beautifully inclusive vision. After repeating, let us fix Nigeria for the poor, over and over throughout the piece, she elevates her conclusion. Let us fix Nigeria for the majority and the minority. No one must be left behind. She completely transcends class divides here. True development, she's saying, isn't just about flipping who is on top. It's about building a society that actually works for absolutely everyone. And so, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with this really provocative thought. If a society's success is truly measured by how it treats its most vulnerable, what willpower are you wielding today to ensure no one in your own community is left behind? Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.